Koppel, host of the Time for Coffee podcast, where you get firsthand career advice into the jobs and industries that interest you the most. And before we start today's show, I have a quick favor to ask you. If you haven't already, I'd be incredibly grateful if you give us a rating and a review on iTunes. And if you're like me, you need to do it now because you'll forget later and because it's the best way to help others who may be in search of career advice to find this free resource. So press pause if you haven't done it and do it right now. I'll wait. Thanks so much and enjoy today's show. Hey there, Java Junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Melissa Douaire. Before we started this interview, considering the audience who are listening right now, college students and young professionals, and some of whom may have just graduated. We're doing this interview in early June 2021. This is graduation season. You said to me, and in fact, you have a son who is graduating in 2 days, that graduation for this cohort of students, and certainly in 2020, is also a process that can involve grieving. What advice do you have for these young people who experience the pandemic and are also experiencing one of the biggest transitions that they will have in their lives?
Yeah, I think name the losses, because there's this expectation that when you're graduating, you're just supposed to be so elated and so crazed with optimism. And it can be that. And there are absolutely moments of that, but it's also moments of goodbyes, loss of normalcy. You're moving out of a house that you'd been in. You're moving away from friends that you've acquired, right? There's a lot of things that are going to change. And by naming those changes, you are giving them air and people are able to witness it, right? Sadness that you're leaving friends. It's okay, right? This graduation, this expectation that we have to be so positive about it. It's okay to sort of lament the things that are going to be lost. And it's okay to have this anticipatory grief of the unknown. And even if you have a job, you're still moving to another city. You don't know what it's like to work 40 hours a day after a college
40
schedule.
Hours a week, I hope.
Or a week, I'm sorry. Yeah.
There are some areas of finance where it may feel like 40 hours a day.
40 hours. But that change alone of sitting at a desk and trying to concentrate for 40 hours a week is very different than the lifestyle that you've had. So there will be sort of loss of what you've had as you transition into this new frontier. And that's okay. And it's okay to say it, right? That you don't have to keep this hyper facade of optimism and enthusiasm. And of course, it's going to be there. But there's scary things that are out there as well. And it's important to name them. And if you name them, people can support you through them.
So by naming it, what does that look like?
It says, I was really excited to graduate, but now I'm really going to miss my 3 best friends who are now scattered all over the country. And I'm nervous about going to find a new apartment and living by myself. What if you have graduated and you were in a sorority house with 70 girls, right? There was always someone to talk to and a great way to procrastinate. You just walk out into the hallway with a bag of chips and there's somebody around. So it's going to be different living by yourself. And just acknowledging it, if you acknowledge it and name it, you can attend to it. If you keep it dark and don't identify it, then it's going to be messed up in your head. It's going to be this like knot of yarn and you're not going to know what you're feeling. So I just pull that thread and try to figure out and use specific words, right? If you're angry, what is it really angry, or are you frustrated? Are you scared? Are you tentative, right? So using that specific language, and then people can hold you in that space.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to this latest episode of T4C. And if you're interested in learning more about my coaching services for confused college students and recent grads, feel free to check out the Time for Coffee website under the coaching tab at time4coffee.org or text me at 202-236-5712. That's 202-236-5712.